Right, so we're finally, yeah, says Colgate in on taps. So if you want to be like one of those guys, when someone says Linux, you can say Linux, actually. Like people correcting other people speaking French, something like that. Node Runner says, but Linus is part of the Swedish speaking minority in Finland. Oh, I did not know. But I am pretty sure that the pronunciation would be more similar to the Finnish pronunciation, even if they speak Swedish. Right? Yeah. Pretty sure that the pronunciation, like the Swedish speaking minority in Finland, doesn't sound like where I'm speaking Swedish. I think it sounds more like Finlandssvenska. Hmm. All right. We're at the Catgirl ending. Oh yay, Catgirls. I wonder, I thought about this, like, falling to sleep the other day, yesterday, I think, something like that. And I was told, like, everything should be explained. But we know that this here, what we're doing right now, is not Simeon's writing, right? It's he who's writing something. That is what we learned from the last ending, is that all of this is just a story created by the narrator, or not Semyon, as Colgate In on Tap calls him. So, is this just like the author just... Since the author, the not Semyon dude, also likes anime, obviously, why else would Semyon like anime? I get that. Like, so is he into cat girls and he's just playing around? Like this here ending is just him not taking it seriously and just going nuts. You don't have to answer, like, no spoilers, please. It's just my speculation. I do like to speculate. It was like my internal firewall had triggered, and I just could not tell the camp leader that I had seen the cat girl today. Maybe I got used to hinting at something, avoiding straight questions, lying and keeping words back. Maybe. In just 4 days, well, I don't know if it's been 4 days, dude. It seems like that's your personality, right? Maybe maybe it isn't. All right. Yeah, although I guess I've been doing that my whole life. Olga, I was at the dinner, spoke with Electronic, and he told me a legend about a cat girl that supposedly lives here. He also said that you would know more. Why do you need to know that? The camp leader gave me a piercing look and stood up. I'm just curious. I like stuff like this. I tried to smile, but it didn't seem to make things go any better. We have a completely normal camp, says Olga. Sure you do, completely normal. I don't even want to imagine what you'd call unusual. I suppose something with zombies and maniacs. Right. Breaking the fourth wall, eh? A nightmare on Sovianok Street. Yes, I understand, but Electronic said that you visited this place before. Yes. The camp leader was thinking about something. However, there is indeed a legend that somewhere in the surrounding woods, a strange cat girl lives, sometimes stealing food and small items from cabins. She is afraid of people, and if someone accidentally sees her, she runs away. That was quite different from what I saw this morning. That cat girl was more like watching me, studying, trying to understand, but not afraid at all. And you have I seen her? Olga interrupted me. No, I haven't, but I was quite close to doing so several times. Bottles, milk, tooth powder, and plenty of other things disappeared from my cabin sometimes. Mysteriously disappeared without a trace. I'd completely forgotten about the fact that all the pioneers here do not actually exist, and just listened attentively to the camp leader. Wait, what? All the pioneers here do not actually exist. Wait, where did he get that? I mean, he hypothesized that they weren't real, but how does he go from that to it being a fact? I was curious where this stuff disappeared to before, but in the end, there's no evidence of her existence. She smiled as if implying that this conversation is over. And if there was, why are you so interested in this? Who wouldn't be interested in stuff like this? I wondered. Semyon wondered. Though, I still had many things to rack my brains for. I don't know. The camp leader thought about something for a second and then returned to her usual mother of all camps state. Right. Node Runner often have feelings that he is in a simulation. Feelings? Not thoughts, but feelings that you're in a simulation. How does that look? I don't think I've ever... I mean, I've had thoughts. How would you feel that you were in a simulation? How would you know? Like, wouldn't you be part of the simulation? Maybe you wouldn't be. Maybe that's not why I'm not feeling it, because I'm part of the simulation and you are in the one who is in it. Oh. I've actually, like all these simulation hypotheses when they argue that this world might be a simulation, I've never thought that someone would get into the simulation as a video game. I've always thought that, oh well, that's just like the ancestor simulation, right? That we're all just part of that simulation. And they're studying their ancestors or whatnot. I don't know. Yes, says Node Runner. He has feelings. He don't think that he's in a simulation. He feels like he is. How does that feel? I'm curious. I can't relate, so I kind of want to... If you can explain it, guessing that it might be quite difficult to explain. We are all anime characters, says Colgate in on tap. No, dude. I've seen animes. It doesn't look like this. It looks like that. Like that, over there. That looks like anime characters. Banana Waffle Monkey says, not the same for me. I can't remember if it was called derealization or depersonalization. But I described it to my psychiatrist as like I'm in third person. Ooh. That sounds like a weird experience. Is that like similar to what the psychedelics takers say that they experience, like the ego death, or just floating outside their own body and just that type of third person kind of thing? Or more like people in traumas. There are people in traumas, like it's not happening to me, it's happening to someone else. In traumatic experiences, I've heard a lot of people explain that, like they are seeing it, but it's not like it's happening to them, it's like it's happening to someone else and they're just observing it. It's like a protective mechanism of the mind, maybe? Node Runner says, what does it feel like? It feels like it isn't real, like this is all just a facade. It's like a sinking feeling. That doesn't... Sinking feeling implies it doesn't feel good, like it feels bad. He said the third person thing one time when he was in a stressful situation. It's like you're observing yourself from afar. I mean, one could argue that like life and our experience of life is just a facade. Like if you look into science and science explanation of how the world works, it's very different from what we experience. Is that it? But that again, that's an intellectual practice. It's not the emotion of feeling like it's all just a facade. Again, I'm just intellectualizing it, thinking about it, not experiencing it. That's an interesting, like, none of this is really that type of feeling. Colgate in on tab says, it's just a style of art. To watchers, we look like that. Anime characters don't look like anime characters to each other. Well, anime characters don't look like anything to each other. They're made up, right? They don't have feelings like you and I have feelings. Not in the same way. Oh, congratulations, Banana Waffle Monkey. Found another raw exalt. It sounds like, I mean, if it's a bad feeling, my condolences. It sounds just weird to me. Like I've had weird feelings, but nothing that could be explained like that. Like sometimes I get the feeling like my body is much shorter than it is. I just get the feeling that my head is super close to my feet. That's a weird feeling I get from time to time. I have deja vus from time to time. I'm guessing that's more common though. Deja vus are weird feelings indeed. Node Runner says, it's like I think about this all being a simulation and I feel the feeling. Even though I don't believe it intellectually. Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's just I have never felt anything like it, so it's alien to me. It's like, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that your feeling isn't real. It's like when you, when someone laughs at the bus stop, you immediately feel like they're laughing at you, but they really aren't. Like there would be no reason to, but you get that feeling like they're laughing at me. You get red in the face and stuff like that. It's not the same feeling, but it's the same thing. Like you don't believe it intellectually, you just get the feeling. Well, that is quite similar, perhaps. Some sort of misappropriation of the real world, I guess. I'm guessing that it's triggered by some sort of stimuli that like, and I'm having a light in front of me, a lamp in front of me, like just feeling like that lamp isn't fucking real. Something like that, and a sinking feeling about that as well. Yeah, like that, says Node Runner. All right. I understand a little bit. I mean, weird shit happens, I suppose. Do you get over them quick enough? Is it just like, just similar to my example with the bus stop? You know, you feel bad for yeah, it's like an existential crisis, but it just lasts for maybe a minute or a couple of seconds or a minute or something, and then it's over, right? Or do you get stuck in it? I've been stuck in thought loops before. Existential or nihilistic? Asks Banana Waffle Monkey. Node Runner gets over it right away. Just similar to what I feel when they laugh not at me at a bus stop. Like, I get a little bit red in the face and I feel a little bit bad, and then it passes. Since it's not real. It's just a feeling. Node Runner just focuses on something else, yeah. Isn't like all existentialistic, like the existentialist when talking about philosophy, weren't all of them having issues with nihilism, and that is why they were talking about existentialism, existential crises. Crises? What's the plural of crises? Crises? That's weird. Right? Isn't that the whole point, the whole discussion in existentialism, isn't it? The world is pointless. What do we do about it? Something like that? Well, it seems like you've decided to become completely laid back. Wait. Well, it seems like you've decided to become completely laid back. Do something already, she says after just lying around reading a book. Olga. Double standards, eh? Banana Waffle Monkey says that he believes it was Sartre, I think his name is pronounced, who outlined the distinctions. Yeah, well, wasn't Nietzsche before him? Node Runner says, I don't feel like it's nihilistic. No, you feel like it's not, not that it doesn't exist. It's just that it's a simulation, you know, like it's not real. Right? Did I understand that correct? I think actually that everything I'm doing still matters. Even if it's not in a real way, because I'm experiencing it. Yeah, it's like even if you were to be convinced that all this is a simulation, like if someone convinced you intellectually and you give in to the feeling that this is a simulation, it still doesn't change anything, right? Like even if this is a simulation, what would it change? Nothing. Like that's why the speculation, the simulation speculation is fun and all that. And I mean, it's a thought experiment, and it becomes fun in that sense, and maybe you get a broader sense of what the world can and cannot be. It's a Descartesian way, you know, doubting everything. But it doesn't really change how you live your life. Nihilistic is the whole pointlessness thing. Yeah? Existentialism, as outlined by Sartre, says Banana Waffle Monkey, is whether or not our existence precedes our essence. Oh, right. I forgot about that discussion. Existence precedes essence, or essence precedes existence. Oh man, that was a long time ago I read up on that. Node Runner says that it changes nothing. Yep, it changes nothing. Not really. More than, like... I mean, maybe you can distance yourself from stuff. It helps you put stuff into perspective. Like any thought experiment, like having greater experiences in ideas and thoughts, it's helpful, I suppose, but it doesn't really change much more than our perspective, I suppose. Banana Waffle Monkey says that is our life decided before we were born, or do we decide our own fate? Wait. Is that what existence precedes essence that discussion is about? That does. I mean, what you're describing there is our life decided before we're born, or do we decide our own fate? Isn't that the free will and determinism distinction? That isn't existentialism, is it? That's the free will question. Existence precedes essence. Maybe it filters out into that? Oh man. I kind of need to look into it. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to take a break from this, making a quick Googling here. Well, not Googling, but existentialism. Here we go, existentialism. I mean, I've read about this. It just seems that I've missed out on the whole point. Seems like, yeah, I recognize all these faces. It's a form of philosophical inquiry that explores the problem of human existence and centers on the lived experience of the thinking, feeling, and lived experience of the thinking, feeling, acting individual. In the view of the existentialist, the individual's starting point has been called the existential angst, or variably the existential attitude, dread, etc., or in a sense disorientation, confusion, or anxiety in the face of an apparent, meaningless, absurd world. Yeah, it's like they don't discuss, they go out from the assumption that the world is pointless and then philosophize about what we should feel and do about that, right? That's not the same as you were saying, or am I misunderstanding? Concepts. Here we go. Existence precedes essence. Banana Waffle Monkey linked this in the chat for anyone who's interested. But it's just a Wikipedia existentialism, and then you just go down. Hey, you saw me do it. Colgate in on tap. The troll here says that we are controlled by our monads. I think you're made another typo though. I think you meant gonads. Sartre argued that a central proposition of existentialism is that, alright, yeah, that is the proposition, right? They assume that this is it. They don't really. It's the central proposition of existentialism is that existence precedes essence, and essence then would be a polysemic term used in philosophy and theology as a designation for the property or set of properties that makes an entity or substance what it fundamentally is. Yeah, and I mean, I would agree with existentialism's proposition. Like, essence is like what something is, its essence. It's in the eye of the observer, right? What does it fundamentally mean to be a human being? Well, that is for the human being to decide, which means existence precedes essence. That is the assumption they come out from, right? Maybe, says Colgate in on tap. Which means that the most important consideration for individuals is that they are individuals, independently acting and responsible conscious beings. But existence is It's a problematic word as well. I remember I saw someone discussing that word existence then, and the problems of it not really making sense, but I can't recall, unfortunately. Rather than what labels, roles, stereotypes, definitions, or other perceived categories. Wait. Our primary considerations for individuals are that they are individuals independently acting and responsible conscious beings, rather than what labels, roles, stereotypes, definitions, or other preconceived categories individuals fit in their essence. So the point is that because existence precedes essence, essence is not important? No, it's not as important. The actual life of the individuals is what constitutes what could be called their true essence. So existence is true essence, instead of an arbitrarily attribute essence that others define to them. Human beings, through their own consciousness, create their own values, and determine a meaning to their life. Yeah, this view is in contradiction to Aristotle and Aquinas, who thought that essence precedes individual essence. Although it was Sartre who explicitly coined the phrase, similar notions can be found in the thought of existential philosophers, such as Heidegger and Kierkegaard. Yeah, valid point. Have to like... Banana Waffle Monkey says, no more Spinoza. Be right back, need to focus on Cirrus. Oh, good luck. Or do a good job, I suppose. Wait, did they talk about Spinoza? I don't think so. Oh, right, he was talking to Colgate in on tap. No more gonads, no more Spinoza. I mean, it depends on your definitions of existence and essence, right? But essence, it has to be like a mental construct, like any like quality of a thing that we would ascribe to a thing, that quality comes from our perspective, right? I'm pretty sure Colgate in on tap agrees with me that round is just like, I know he showed me planes, like you can have a plane that is round and then the straight line looks straight like mathematically, but if the plane is round, then it does not look round, right? They meet. While if your plane is flat, the straight lines does not meet. Right? So essence is just what we decide that essence is, right? Existence, though, is... I wonder why existence didn't garner a link here, because existence is also super difficult to define. But like they presuppose, like, I agree that existentialists, as Banana Waffle Monkey said, they assume that, well, they assert that existence precedes essence and grow from there and have their existential thoughts like, what should we do? Because if existence precedes essence, then life is pointless. So what should we do with our lives then? Colgate in on taps fills out and says, yes, and if your plane is hyperbolic, straight lines diverge. Exactly. They are straight lines, but they do diverge. Furcha shows up and says, hi, Cider McDread. Hello, Furcha. How are you doing today? All right. So, what else? How did we get into that? Oh yeah, it was a tangent from Node Runner's feelings, but they weren't really relevant. It was just association that showed up. from that explanation of that type of experience. Well, it seems like you've decided to become completely laid back, do something already, right? She paused and stretched herself in such a way that wrinkles that shouldn't even be there at her age came out. Funny. Go on, get down to business, she said and lifted her skirt. No, oh, sorry. It's not that kind of book. Yet. I just sighed and went out. Oh, right. All in all, no one from among the pioneers has ever seen a cat-eared girl. They'd only heard legends. Well, I should probably find her. I'd already recovered from this morning's shock events, and existential thoughts have by now stopped pressuring my brain. So it was possible for me to take a responsible position. More or less. It was necessary because I still had a lot of questions. How did I get here? For what reason? And why? And where is this here? And the cat girl is the catalyst for it all. Is she? I thought you were the catalyst, Semyon. You were the catalyst. You fell asleep, you woke up. Right? Maybe I misunderstood. But I didn't want to start theorizing about parallel worlds, aliens, experiments, and the afterlife again. Yeah, it's... like... You have done enough hypothesis. You need empirical data, man. Empirical data, test stuff. Like, science is nothing without the tests. You can sit around rationalizing, philosophizing. Like, it only becomes fact after tests, right? Analysis paralysis. There you go. I was fed up with this just after my first few hours in the camp. Perhaps I just need to put aside the theories. Those were not theories. I think you meant hypotheses. And look at the physical reality. Finally, even if I assume that this world exists regardless of my will and I have to live here, my arrival here is inexplicable. Well, since you don't... Yeah. Looking for information, finally. It's more worthwhile to concentrate on studying this world and on analyzing possible events which may happen to me here. Finally. How many hours in are we into the game? Like, I've been wanting him to be doing this from the very start. And we must be that must have been like 20 hours ago or something. I'll do that until the opposite is proven. Until then, let's assume that I'm stuck here. For the long haul, if not forever. The deck chair melodiously squeaked with my every movement. Lilac branches tried to strike me in the face, and the vile morning birds were silent for a long time, apparently tired of the summer heat. So no, he didn't try to... like, no investigations. Just went straight on to the assumption. So sad. The treetops seemed like sharp peaks of the high walls of a medieval castle, lost in the boundless woods. And these cabins, the square, Genda's monument, the clubhouse, the buildings are just a little village of peasants huddling near the millennial walls of a grim fortress hidden in a grove. And all of us here, either people like me or cat girls, are just servants of an evil genius hiding somewhere out there. Ah, here we go. Very Descartian. It would be much easier if the camp was on top of a hill. Because 1,000 years ago, the best place for a fortification was always somewhere up high. Yeah, it wasn't like that, right? For thousands of years, building a castle on a hill. What is it now? Bunkers. Build into the mountain. In and down. Probably that's someone has nothing to be afraid of. But in that case, he would not hide so carefully behind the treetops. Well, I mean, if you are talking about the deity that created this world or whatever, if they have interest in this, they might be just interested in watching and not intervening, right? I've always seen that as a much more plausible God explanation. Like, if there is a creator of our world, like, and assuming that the creator would care about humanity, which I am not convinced of at all, I would probably guess that no, not interested in humanity whatsoever, or our planet, or maybe even our galaxy. I wouldn't presume to know, but I would have guessed that no. But assuming that it did care about us, then I would have imagined that it would care about us as an observer. Therefore, not putting any moral values onto humanity. That wouldn't make any sense. If there was a creator that cared about our moral values, then there would, the question, is there a God, would not be a valid question, because we would all fucking know. We would all fucking know if there was a God and that God cared about how we behaved, and that God had moral values from left to right. That God would just decide, this is how you behave and this is how you not behave. We would all know. Right? So if there is a God, that leads me to believe that if there is a God watching, then that God is just curious. Just curious. Just want to see, what will they do? Like us watching mice in a maze. Idle curiosity, I think. Probably, right. So he would be hiding behind the treetops, is what I'm saying. I sighed and closed my eyes. My consciousness slowly started to desert me. And soon the whole world faded into darkness. Oh, time to wake up. ... Oh, are we back to the bus crash idea now? And again before my eyes, like an endless carpet, the road, surrounded by woods and field, goes ever on. Like it's both snow and stuff like that. Colgate InnoTab says maybe they went on vacation, or they have other worlds to observe too. Yeah. How do you mean? Like a god went on vacation? So it might not be observing us right now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. I can see that. I'm not convinced that there is like a creator. I mean, simulation hypothesis is kind of convincing, and that would imply a creator. But I also think that the idea of a creator is a human construct. So I don't know. Since we are builders, then everything has got to be built, right? But that's just speculation. It's not doesn't fit into my worldview, but it's always fun to speculate and think about these things, I guess. And again before my eyes. All right. Goes on and ever on. The bus is going somewhere, leaving behind everything I knew, loved, and hated. An unfamiliar girl is leaning over me and gently whispering something in my ear. I'm actually interested in what she's saying. That's gotta be Masha, right? But I can't hear her. I'm just watching everything from the side and cannot see everything except her face. And hear everything except her words. It's weird. Feeling everything except my own life. I woke up feeling like I was suffocating and began greedily sucking in air. My breath soon went back to normal and an intolerable thirst came upon me. But what was that dream all about? And who was that girl? These questions again. Maybe I've already died and gone to hell. Maybe you are dying right now and this is just your last dream stages of death from that bus crash. Can a human being feel that his life is now over and that he can just move on to the next stage of existence? Well, the next stage of... Oh man, clumsy cat. He was standing on a swivel chair and the chair started swiveling and he fell down. It was funny. I was crawling under my armchair for some reason. I don't want to have my hands down there anymore. He might attack. Can a human being feel that his life is now over and that he can just move on to the next stage of existence? I mean, a lot of people have accepted death, I think. Like people dying. I would assume. Like I've never been in the presence of someone dying. I don't think, no. Like I've seen dead bodies, but I've never actually seen someone die. Well, I've seen people die on TV, I suppose. Like it really happening, so I guess I've seen people die, but like from art and whatnot, I can totally imagine people just accepting death and just giving up, right? Here we go, Banana Waffle Monkey's back. Got him. On AL4, 3 deaths. And got the stupid crown. Congratulations on got him. I'm awakening level 4. Ah, there we go. 16 watchstones socketed. Very nice. Good job. 3 deaths? That's not too bad, I guess. My head was about to explode due to such cosmic thoughts. Cosmic thoughts? I was just thinking about accepting death. Right? Did I misunderstand something? Right? Can a human being feel that his life is now over and that he can just move on to the next stage of existence? You know, death. You can just move on to death. I feel like a lot of people, like especially like people who suffer at the end of life, like a lot of suffering from cancer and whatnot, that in the end they just give up and die, right? Node Runner says, I used to subscribe to a subreddit called Watch People Die. That sounds morbid. Sounds morbid indeed. I remember some years ago there was some dude who filmed himself when he hung himself. I saw that video, I know. Kind of morbid it was. Felt kind of dirty for watching it. I mean, I've seen accidents and stuff like that. I haven't... Like filming people die from illness in the hospitals. I've never seen that, you know. Seeing someone's actual thought process or something. Node Runner says it was morbid. I mean, broaden one's horizons, I guess. I don't really have any big interest in it though, so a good tip, I guess, if you have the stomach for it. But it gave Node Runner a strange thankfulness for being alive. Yeah, I mean, you get like getting close to death. Like a lot of people react differently, but I think it's quite common, you know. Closer you are to death, you appreciate life, I suppose. Node Runner says it's all accidents. Yeah, that's actually like we're talking about it morbidly and stuff like that, but you know, I wonder, like, think about that. People dying in the hospital, like, we know that it's gonna happen. Filming the last words and the last breaths of a person, showing it off on a funeral. Would that really be such a bad thing? It kind of feels like a good way to move on, like a good ritual kind of thing. Like we do have rituals, right? Having a funeral, showing that off, like this is how he died. Like if you get that opportunity, like going for closure, I suppose. A good way to learn how not to die is a Node Runner, I suppose. Banana Waffle Monkey remembers that sub. Didn't use it much, but he heard about it. Have you... Oh, what's that called again? Fuck. There's this like podcast, cartoon... Oh man. I think it was on Netflix. I gotta give this tip. It was such a great thoughts in the end. Like a lot of it was just weird fucking shit. Netflix. What the fuck was it? Midnight Gospel. There you go. The Midnight Gospel. I can highly recommend the Midnight Gospel, especially the last two episodes. They they made me rethink the whole view of people dying. They argued that you should let people die in the home and you should, like, for your parents, you should yourself take care of the body and everything, not just call someone to come and pick up the body. Like, if they're dead, and, you know, for a fact, like, you wake up in the morning and the body is cold and there's, like, no chance, of course, call the hospital if you think there's a way to save them. If, like, but taking care of the body and everything just as an acceptance of death, kind of ritualistic kind of thing. But yeah, Midnight Gospel, it's very artistic and it's very out there. There's a lot of pseudo philosophy that is painted as philosophy, so just keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, I really liked it, especially in the last two episodes, getting through it. Nodrunner says it wasn't something I would use every day, just once in a while. Yeah, I can imagine. It's like I remember when I watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that show. One day I spent like, I think I saw like a full season in one day. That was just too much. I just felt bad. Just felt bad after that. I needed small doses. Like some things are intense, you know? It's intense. Fucking intense. What did I do to deserve this? There are no deserving this. You didn't do anything to deserve this. It just happened. The author wrote you that way. I'm just an ordinary guy, not a philosopher, not a theologist, not a scientist. And I don't want to understand the substance of things, the way of the universe. Oh. he has expressed this. He just never... Nah, there we go. I can't relate to this at all. I do want to understand the substance of thing, the way of the universe. I really, really do. I want to gain deeper understanding at all times. All the time. Yeah, me and Semyon, we don't really mesh that way. So similar and yet so different. Interesting. I'm not asking for any more than just to live my life peacefully and then to doze off in an eternal sleep when everything is over. Oh, there is that metaphor, the eternal sleep. I mean, yeah. But no, I'm just trapped here. Well, you'll die eventually. Maybe. Tears of frustration welled in my eyes. Maybe. And why is it always like this? I started to think that if I give it any more thought, I would either understand the substance of all things or go insane for good. Oh, man. I don't know what that is a reference to. The substance of all things? Oh, fuck, I don't need the cheat sheet anymore, that's fine. Substance of all things. What is that? A novel by... Sam Harris, eh? Wait, no. Sam Harris is not a... It has to be another Sam Harris. No? Yeah, it's a different Sam Harris. That's interesting. Tells the remarkable life story of a modern-day miracle worker. He expertly and adroitly plays each plotline against the other to create a gripping sense of narrative momentum. The slow, controlled portrayal of adult Theo's progress towards personal redemption is commanding and culminates in a series of chapters with hefty emotional impact. The substance of all things is a dramatic and cumulative, powerful tale of one man's healing. And a lot of people like it. Oh, I wonder why people on Amazon would say that they like it. I would never have guessed. Come on then. Go insane for good. Ultimately, it all started with a bus. I got in, went to sleep, and there was a girl. Always the girls, eh? Perhaps one of the local pioneers, maybe even that cat-eared one. Well, why not? Can't rule a single idea out. Didn't he just say that he didn't care about the ideas? I'm getting whiplashed over here. Though I'm here now. My thoughts stopped. Tumbleweed rolled back and forth in my brain. Your tail is in the way. There we go. Bouncing around the organ which kept my ears from falling off. Nodron asks, do I have a Discord or a Matrix server? I do not. Well, maybe I do. Oh, I have no idea. I'll check. I think I had a server, but that was for Eve. And I think some people are still using it for Eve. I don't know if you can leave off Discord servers to other people. Oh, fuck. Haven't been in Discord for a while. Yeah, no. Yeah, I think it's not considered. No, it probably wasn't mine. It was probably just given um, admin rights or something. I don't remember. I remember setting up the rooms and all like that, but maybe I should get a Discord or Matrix. Maybe some open source stuff, eh? Discord is closed source, isn't it? I think it is. He kept his ears from falling off, alright? And that is all. Now I'm here in hell, heaven, purgatory, or wherever. Looks like I'm going to spend the rest of eternity in this place. Alright, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Alright, here we go. Oh, here, come on. Oh, there we go. Happy now? He's happy now. Discord is super closed, says Node-Runner. It's not just closed source, it's super closed source. That's a bit sad. It's a pretty good app. For some reason, I fixated on this exact theory, that he's dead. It's strange that I didn't care about the fact that a spiritual being doesn't have basic human senses, sight, hearing, touch. How would you know? All in all, at first glance, there was nothing different about me from my condition a week ago. Yes, there was. You've become younger again, rejuvenized. Which I guess would make sense, like thinking about heaven. Like if people imagine the best way, like to spend eternity, I would probably be like, my body would probably be 25-ish, something like that, maybe a little bit younger, between 22, 25, somewhere there. Or like aches and stuff like that, being energetic, maybe even younger, maybe even like him, like 18. Being energetic, having an energetic body. Node Runner says they have started banning for political reasons. Ooh, I say started, but it's been happening for a while. That is... Yeah, there's a lot of that going around, isn't it? They're not handling it very well, I must say. A lot of companies banning people left and right. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's their application. They can do what they feel like, but I feel it's bad for democracy. In my view of democracy that I've been going on and on and on about. Well, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's good for democracy because people getting banned for having stupid political views, because I'm guessing that they're banning people that are quite stupid. It will make them more involved in democracy. I would take a gander that they, like someone being banned for political reasons, gotta be kind of pissed, right? Oh, your cat again, says Furcha. Will it allow to show itself today on camera? Oh man, you were just a few seconds too late. He just left. I would have showed him to you otherwise. I'll show him next time. I guess he shows up. He won't show up more today. I'm leaving for lunch in a couple of minutes. Oh, don't apologize. It's me who's apologizing. Just unfortunate. No need for me to apologize either. We just became unlucky, I suppose. But I can show him off later on. Right, like if you get banned from somewhere for a political reasons, that would make you pissed off, right? I'm just imagining, but I'm imagining that it's gotta be super frustrating. And it's like I've been talking about pain thresholds, right? That for some people that has gotta be a pain threshold, and they would get more, even more involved that they already were, right? So maybe it is a good thing in the long run that they're banning people. That there will be a reaction, right? Node is hoping that it'll be a catalyst for open source alternatives. Yeah, exactly. That's one possible way. Like a lot of that's why library sucks at the moment, because there's a lot of people who get banned for political reasons, or there's a lot of banning on YouTube or whatnot, and a lot of gatekeeping, and all those people that I don't agree with show up on libraries. So library is just filled of stuff that I don't really care for. There's a lot of stuff on library that I don't care for. There is a few things that is pretty good. Yeah, actually, like Veritasium is on library. That's a great channel. Love Veritasium. And he's not banned from YouTube. He just likes open source, I guess. All in all, at first glance, there was nothing different about me. All right. Yeah. Except for a couple of years younger. Then what's so bad about what happened? I might even consider this a second chance. After all, it's not that hard to get a job. I could rent a room in a hostel. I'm 17 now. I'm still healthy. My brain is in an excellent state. Is it though? Excellent? Is your brain in an excellent state? Is that the word you would use? Like, yeah, well, he's lying to himself again, I guess. Like he started out just, what was it, 4 days ago? Super depressed. But he's energetic at least. Exactly, Banana Waffle Monkey. He says that he's been questioning, as he has been questioning his sanity. Right? Right? Node Runner says, what I mean is if folks who have an extreme political view all create new platform to chat on, you won't be able to use it because it will be stigmatized. Wait. I missed something. I'm hoping for it to be a catalyst for open source. I didn't read that full sentence. I'm sorry, Node Runner. However, it won't work. I mean, for some people. What I mean is if folks, it will be stigmatized. Like thinking about library and there's a lot of shitty people on there. You won't be able to use it because it will be stigmatized. That doesn't make any sense to me. If it's open source, everybody who has computer and internet will be able to use it, right? Isn't that the point of an open source alternative? Isn't that the point of library, for example? Like something being stigmatized on the computer, like, I mean, 4chan is stigmatized, right? The asshole of the internet. People still use it. People are still there. I'm guessing people are typing up stupid shit as we speak. I mean, that's fine. And it is stigmatized, but you still are able to use it, right? Or am I misunderstanding something? I might try to achieve something, says Semyon. But what had prevented me from doing so before? Yeah, exactly. What had been doing? I sucked? Was I really that old back then? Maybe, I don't know. NodeRunner says, imagine all the racists make a new chat program. It doesn't matter if it's open source and free to use. You'll be grouped in with the racists if you use it. Well, I can't follow along with you on that thought experiment, because it doesn't make any sense to me. Racists wouldn't want an open source alternative. They would want to restrict it, right? Isn't that the whole point of racists? That they want to exclude people. Isn't it? Like whoever they are racists against, they would like to have checks and balances to make sure that whoever those people are, them, would not get into that chat program. That wouldn't follow the free and open source, like the Libre philosophy, right? Unless, like, and then, I mean, if it's a racist group that does it, I mean, and then if it's a racist group doing a new chat program, I wouldn't want to, right? Free and open source one, though, that even if all the open source dudes who made it were racist, I wouldn't mind. NodeRunner says, this isn't a thought experiment, it's already happened. Oh, it's Matrix? I don't know enough about Matrix chat programs. I don't use them enough. I use Signal, I know. See, Gab. Alright. Actually, could you remind me about this tomorrow, NodeRunner? It's... Birchia says the Telegram, I guess, is more or less independent. Telegram. Isn't Telegram the fork from Signal? I think I heard about it. But I really should have gone like half an hour ago to lunch, so I am interested in it. I'm just also very hungry. I haven't eaten in, well, since, what's that? 18 hours? 16 hours? 14 hours. I think it's 14 or 12. Is it 12 o'clock? No. 18 hours. I haven't eaten in 18 hours. So, it is time. I'm curious about this chat. I know that the Suckless team got a lot of flack and people were calling them racist, but I mean, Suckless is not about racism, right? It's about software that sucks less. I mean, if they are racist or not, does that really matter? If their software is good from an open source perspective. I'll leave you with that thought. So, I want to look into Gab tomorrow, if you remind me. But now, I really gotta go. Thanks for today. Interesting discussions as always.